You don't know, do you? You don't know how to become the top producing plumber in your company. Well, to be honest, in any residential service company. Hang around and watch this video. I'm going to give you my top tips. And at the very end, I'm going to tell you why it's important that you try to become this person. So becoming the top producing plumber in your company really isn't very hard to do. There's just a few things that you need to learn and need to work on, and you need to work on it every time you walk in somebody's house. Literally, you don't ever walk in and just say, hey, man, this is it, boom, done, get it, go, bye, out of here. Okay, that's not what you do. First of all, you need to understand emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, the capacity to be aware of, control, and express one's emotions, and to handle interpersonal relationships judiciously and empathetically. Emotional intelligence is the key to both personal and professional success. So did you hear that? It is the key to both personal and professional success. Now, why is that a big deal? You need to understand emotion. You need to learn to use emotion, not just in you, but in other people. You need to be able to look at other people and understand what their emotion is. Are they angry? Are they upset? Are they hurt? Are they scared? Are they happy? What is going on with them in their world? And emotional intelligence is probably the one big thing that if you can learn to figure that out, that can set you apart from anybody that you work with. Most of us, most plumbers, we never even think about it. We walk in, we see a problem, boom, there's what it is, let's fix it. Think about it. If you can learn people's emotions and how to get them through it, how to take them from pain to happiness, how to take them from not understanding to completely understanding, from curious to knowledge, man, it's a long gap. And if you can be the person that recognizes it, understands it, can help them get there, that's huge. Number 2, work on your communication skills. This is really a big one. You've got to learn how to communicate on a level people can understand. Look, I've been plumbing for 40 years and I know a lot of extra things about plumbing. I mean, med gas, residential fire protection, water supply protection. There's a lot of things that I could talk about, technical terms that, even a lot of plumbers wouldn't understand. But if you learn to take plumbing and break it down into a way that people can understand, go back to Steve Jobs. He said what made him very successful at Apple was learning to give presentations so that a third grader could understand it completely. Think about that. If we could work on how we explain things, how we tell people what's wrong in a way that a third grader could understand it completely, man, what a way to go. They're not going to have any questions. They're not going to have any concerns because you're going to be able to lay all that out there. And if you can learn to communicate with people in a way that they can understand, number 1, right there, your sales are going to go up. Because when people understand exactly what you're talking about, that part right there is huge. They're not concerned anymore. They're not curious anymore. Now they understand. And that, conveying that information to them in a way that they get it, that's going to be huge. Number 3, and this is really a good one. Really, they're all good. And if you work on these and get good at them, you'll understand how the value in yourself goes up. But number 3, understand why it's important to them. Is it important because the problem they're having is going to create issues down the road? Is it important because the problem that they're having may make them or their family sick? Maybe they've got grandparents living with them or grandchildren living with them. Is this going to put them in risk? Is their health going to be at risk? What kind of problems are they going to have that this could lead to? Or what kind of pain point is it? And you need to know these, you need to understand these, because you need to understand why this is important. Because to be honest, if things aren't important to people, they're like, look, I don't care. I don't need that. And you're going to try to sell them something, they're going to be like, okay, no, I don't want it. You've got to understand what's important to them and learn how to look at it that way, and then go back to number 2 and explain it that way. Communicate it to them in a way that they understand, is this taking care of what's really important to them? Number 4, and this is one that a lot of people have a hard time with, learn to sell the value. And I say this because most people that want to become a top producer for their companies, they don't understand what the value is. What value does your company sell? What value do you bring? And do you know how to sell that? Do you understand why you're more expensive than some of the other companies in town? Because look, we're not the cheapest plumbing company in town. And I tell people that all the time because I don't want them calling us out just to price compare us to a lot of other people. To be honest, we're probably not going to win that. But if you look at the value that each company's bringing, we normally win that every time. The reason being, we do things right. We use the best products. I think we have the best plumbers. And if we're providing that on a daily basis, it should cost more. Can you explain the value that your price brings? Can you explain to people why yours may be more expensive, but they're going to get more value buying what you provide? Number 5, and this is one that we're never taught, and I call it listen to repeat. Think about it. In school, you're taught how to read, you're taught how to write, you're taught how to talk, how to speak properly, but you're never taught how to listen. So what I want you to think about anytime a customer is talking to you, I want you to focus on listening to repeat. Did you hear what I said? I want you to focus on listening to repeat. Now that's important because it will help you do your job better. If a customer tells you a problem they're having and things they've tried or things they haven't tried, and all you're thinking of is, I already know what the problem is, I'm just going to run fix it. You may get in there and fix it and realize, well, they told you, well, look, I shut that valve before and it didn't work. Oh, you know what? Man, I was already thinking about what I was going to do. I never even heard you say that. But if you are able to listen to repeat, that way when a customer tells you, hey, I've tried this, this, and this. Okay, you're like, okay, wait a minute. You've already tried doing this, and doing this with another company that is not here and didn't fix the problem. What about this? Did they try this? If you're able to listen and you can repeat the things back to them that they tell you, number 1, they're going to know you're paying attention. They're going to understand that they're not just talking to somebody who's already figured out what they think the problem is and just wants to run fix it. They're talking to someone that is taking the time to listen to them and communicate with them. That's a big deal because most people, most residential service providers don't listen. We come in, we're pulling up, we already know the water heater's leaking, selling them a new one, yada, yada, yada. And we walk in and we just start going to tear things apart. Well, be careful. They'll catch you on a sting on TV because really all that's leaking, somebody loosened the nut on top and all you see is water dripping out the bottom. Guys, be very careful and make sure you listen to repeat. Customers a lot of times will tell you things that they don't even know they're telling you. And always ask them, look, what have you tried before? What have you tried in the past? How much money have you spent trying all these things that did not work? Now you're working on building that value. Number 6, this is really the last one to tell you the things that you can do or show you how to do it. Show people you care. To be honest, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Once you let people know, I really care, you're going to be fine. Go back. Remember how I started? Always fall in love with your customers and you'll never do them wrong. Remember, you need to convey that all the way through this conversation. And if you can literally show people that you do care, you truly care about what problem they have, about how it can be fixed, and about bringing them the most value, you're going to do fantastic at this. And if you'll work on these things every day, every house you walk into, you're going to see you moving up closer and closer to being that top producer. Or if you already are a top producer, if there's one of these things that you're not doing, it's going to help you move up even more. Why do you want to become the best? Why is this important? Because being the top producer brings in more revenue for your company. It brings in more value to you, and more value equals more money. Do you want to make more money? Because if you're in the right position and you're doing things right, this is your opportunity to move up and set yourself apart from some of the other plumbers or any other trade, as a matter of fact. What are you doing to move up? If you do any training or if you've been through any training and they mention something that I didn't, or you've got some little tip or trick that you use that actually works for you, do me a favor, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think helps you become the top producer at your company. And if you're not in sales, maybe you're the installation technician, but you want to learn it, let me know that, because these are the tips and tricks that can help you get there. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, the expert plumber. I'll see you in the next video if you don't get flushed.